There's a very famous book by author Jerry Weintraub, creator of Karate Kid, creator of Oceans, I think it was 11, 12, and 13. Brilliant book. Highly recommend that you read it. It's called When I Stop Talking, You'll Know I'm Dead. I'll post it down below so you don't forget. I read this book when I was around 23, and it was just super inspiring. One of the things that happened in his life, it's a biography of his life, kind of going along this path from getting knocked down to getting back up and just to becoming this great producer. This guy just goes, his story is incredible. Read the book. And one part of the story, he was at the top of like his job, making a ton of money. He got offered something else. Actually, I'm mistaken here. He was unhappy with what he was doing. So he decided right there, I'm sick of taking calls. I'm sick of doing this. I'm going to go and pursue something else. So he ends up quitting his job. He leaves everything behind. And it was during this period where he sort of got down. And it was like, one thing I've learned that is of the utmost importance, whether you're just a poor struggling kid from the Bronx or wherever you are in your career, it's that persistence, okay, is the most valuable lesson that you can learn, to persevere even when times get tough. And I know that's sort of cliche. You see a lot of quotes about persistence, and I want to dive a little bit into persistence and what it means for us. Like, why is it such an important quality in a young man or young woman? I remember going back to my high school days. I was fresh moving to Ohio from Tampa, Florida. And I moved to this school freshman year, no friends, nothing, okay? And, during the school year, I sort of got my group. I sat with some kids at lunch. I even played Nintendo DS, battling people in Pokemon. And I remember this girl came up to me, and she showed interest in me, but I had no experience with girls, so I sort of felt like I didn't know how to handle it. So it ended up turning, she just stopped talking to me after a while. I was kind of awkward. I was kind of weird. So immediately I began to understand my insufficiencies in life. It's like, I'm not great at talking to girls. And then, there were some more awkward experiences, and I was frustrated, not at the girls, but more at myself. Like, I should know how to handle this. So the easy route was to just stop talking to girls. Like, don't approach girls. You don't have to deal with the awkwardness, the rejection. You can just, have fun. Okay, you can find other ways to have fun. You can go to the gym, and that's exactly what I did. I went to the gym. I was the guy that worked out, and I started a workout club. But like, it was always avoiding. It was like something to avoid the anxiety I would feel around women, and so that carried on my life. And even now, it's like those roots are still there. So learning your insufficiencies, and I think many of you guys can relate to the fact that something happens, and you're maybe even super motivated, like the dopamine's flowing, you're dressing nicely, you're going to school, and you're like, aha, I'm gonna go up to this 10-10 girl, I'm gonna approach her. And then what happens? You get super motivated, you approach her, you get rejected, and then you stop. Like, you stop. You lose your motivation. The circuits are rewired because, boom, there's pain, and we hate to experience pain. We do what we can to avoid it. So that's a very real life situation. I believe the appeal of video games, of even board games, is that there really is no consequence for losing. There's nothing that really hurts you. You just lose, and even then, sore loser. It's like, dude, imagine if that happened to you in real life. Imagine how sore of a loser this person is in life. Probably the guy that gets really, really upset and resentful, filled with contempt when girls ignore him and don't show him the attention he deserves. And it's like, you got to be careful around those people. They snap on you. So board games give you this sort of game that you're playing in life. It's like life is a game, but you play it on the board game. Take chess, for instance. Chess, you have your pawns, you have your bishops, your knights, your rooks, your king, queen. White goes first, okay? Say you're black. White goes first, he moves his pawn. What are you doing? As black, you're thinking to yourself, okay, if I move my pawn here, maybe in the beginning you're just moving random pieces, but as you begin to develop some sort of, you realize in chess that if you just make random moves, you're gonna get your queen captured quick. You're going to be in a position where your king, it has to surrender, checkmate, okay? So you learn to think ahead. You learn to use what's called theory of mind and make up a scenario where you move the piece in your imagination and you see the outcome of that, the consequence of moving that character. Okay, so if it doesn't work out, if you move and the pawn just comes in diagonally, attacks your pawn, it's like, well, why would I do that? We'll just lose him. Okay, so really grand masters learn to think moves ahead. Okay, but see, in chess, it's like you can do that, you can lose a game, whatever. In life, we do the same thing. It's one of the things about being human is you can develop this avatar in your mind and you can put him in different scenarios, and then whatever scenario doesn't work out to like where you want to be, say it's too risky, there's too much pain involved with that. Okay, you leave your job, holy shit, fuck that avatar, I'm gonna stay right where I am. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing until I figure out a better scenario to put myself in. Okay, you running through these all the time. It's what humans do. A dog doesn't do it. A dog's like constantly present. Sees a squirrel, it's like boom, there's the attention. Dogs don't even, it's like their attention's so short span. I went into a little clubhouse the other day. The dog was getting along with me just fine. 5 minutes later, I go into the clubhouse. I'm in the clubhouse and the dog just starts barking at me, like about to bite me. And I'm like, what the hell? This dog was just being super friendly to me. Okay, always in the present, not really thinking ahead or even short-term memory. But so we think ahead. Okay, so as you begin to you experience pain, well, you stop really reaching out. Okay, you've just learned that women are dangerous. Women are mean. They cheat. Oh man, and I'm using women as one, but that's not how they really are. It's like you got to realize we're human. You would do the same thing if you were dealing with some woman that was just like the guy that you are getting cheated on. And so we stop learning in a sense. See, what learning is putting your little tentacles out into the world. You're putting your avatar out there. Gets squashed, he dies. Now you're constantly dying to what you know now. Okay? As a baby, you don't know shit. So you're constantly learning how the world works. You're constantly dying. Like every day, the baby is growing a little bit stronger. It's being transformed. The snake is shedding its skin off of the old knowledge and the ways of thinking. And so you have to realize you have to be vulnerable enough to die to what you know now. A lot of ideologies. I mean, I'm caught up in this sometimes. I think about this stuff I believe, and I want to believe it so badly. And whenever I hear something that goes against that belief, it's like, shut it out. I'm in this circle. I'm in this barrier. Okay, nothing can get in there. So maybe it's the keto diet. I think the keto diet's great. And I'll defend it. But then when I hear something that makes sense, it's like, it doesn't really get in there. I have to be honest with myself. I don't know. So I'm going through an experiment with the things that work, the foods, and I'm going to keep experimenting and questioning. I'm never just going to pledge my allegiance to this one way. And then it's like part of you has to die. And you have to, when this happens too fast, what happens to you is like some people, they literally kill themselves. They just off themselves. It's easier to die when things get so bad. So the bills, the divorce, you got kids, the child custody, the payments, lack of food, lack of sleep, the job that you hate, all builds up, die. Okay, so you don't want to do it too quick because then you got to learn all at once. It's like you want to take this time, especially in your 20s, die slowly. Learn a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow. That's what Kaizen is. The Kaizen way, Toyota's philosophy is Kaizen. It's a Japanese philosophy that means constant improvement. Okay, but it literally means constantly dying to the things that you believe now. And so two things happen. You become smarter and you learn more about the world, but only if you persevere. Because when things hurt and you stop having the willingness to be persistent in your learning, you just stay static. Okay, and you regress, entropy. You go backwards, you start to deteriorate. And so we get consumed by these moods, the emotions that we feel from pain and neglect and lack of friends and lack of happiness that we experience, and so we stop, guys. And look, man, if you keep growing, you make the world a better place. You make your life a better place. You become happier. You learn how to, even though maybe you're insufficient, maybe you're not as tall as you want to be. Maybe you got a little bit of recession going on, you know? It's like, that doesn't matter. Like, you learn to live with these insufficiencies. Viktor Frankl said life is suffering in his journey into the concentration camps. Life is suffering. We know that. So you bear the insufficiencies and you learn how to live life better. You learn how to like break out of this box that you put yourself in because you think you're so insufficient. Persevere. And so it's not really that you, I would never really, I was thinking big time about courage and I remember Brian Tracy saying something about like, if you do the thing you fear the most, the death of fear, sir. And I always had a hard time with that because the more and more I would do something, it was like the fear's not really going away. I think it does though. It really does. It takes a long time. You got to understand, you don't approach two girls and the fear gets lessened. Okay, you don't public speak once or twice. You don't go on camera. Look, I've been doing this. I've got 900 and some of the videos. I still get a little bit intimidated. I still get intimidated going live. But it's like eventually what happens is that the fear is still there, maybe dampened, but now I'm more courageous. I'm more courageous to turn the camera on. I'm more concerned about my own ability to take action, to approach that girl, than the results of the outcome of my interaction with that person. I'm more likely to try to do my best during the sale instead of, than so worried about actually making the sale. It's like, persevere, be persistent. I went up to the receptionist today, good looking girl. I have a girlfriend and there really wasn't, I just want to talk to her because, I like to stay sharp. And so I go and talk to her and as I'm talking to her for like 3 minutes. And I felt like she was watching a movie. And I realized she had her earbud in. She took it out. I was like, were you in the middle of something? And she's like, no, just watching a movie. And she just seemed so uninterested in me. I literally felt like the way she was just so cold and I'm not used to that. It was like, it sucked, dude. It sucked. And I didn't get angry. I didn't get upset. Like my natural reaction was, what the fuck, girl? Like it's easy to, what the fuck? But it's like, I literally felt like my presence was an insult to her. And so, but you understand, you see through these things eventually, and you don't know what she's going through. You don't know how her childhood was. You don't know if she's on her period. You don't know if she had, some fucking rotten sushi for breakfast, and her stomach's bubbling up and she's about to fart. You don't know what she's going through. It's like, that's life. And I think we hold on to these things that hurt us, and we just stop. We give up. You can't give up, dude. It's easy to give up. It's easy to give up because the moment that you give up, you avoid anything that hurts. And so it starts with taking responsibility for your life and dying a little bit, okay? And having the courage to keep putting yourself at a good enough pace where you don't just want to end it off, but keep putting yourself in positions where, man, I gotta learn this again. Maybe I need more compassion. Maybe I need to be a little more calm. Maybe my movements, maybe I'm a little too jumpy and I'm a little too hyped up on caffeine or something. It's like you're constantly learning. And so persevere, be courageous, my friends. And know that your life really does have meaning. It has a lot of meaning. The people, you'll probably know 1,000 people in your life, and those people know 1,000 people, and the posts that you post on Instagram and Facebook have meaning. And I think we get so caught up, especially on the Monk Mode group. Look, I posted a picture today today was the eclipse, as many of you know. The moon going in front of the sun, and I posted a picture, in case you missed it, I posted a picture of a girl's butt in like underwear, and the sun was there. I was like, in case you missed the eclipse. And you just get a couple people, no hate to you guys, I love you. But look, man, we gotta stop arguing about dumb shit. It's like, dude, why would you post this trigger post? It's like, dude, come on. Snap out of that shit. Can't you have some pride? Stop worrying about dumb shit. Gary Vee, simple quote. It blows my mind. The dumb shit that people choose to focus on. It's like, take some responsibility for your life. Fix up what you can fix up. Don't be a victim. Don't blame everything on everyone else. That's it, man. That's it. I think it's important that in the monk mode, we get in these arguments. It reminds me of any other form. It's going to happen. You got 2,000 men on there. Join us down below. We got to build each other up. We have to engage in dialogue that it's like, why are we so keen on proving our points? That's not what this group is for. That's not do you really want to just make your point and fucking get the upper hand and get a little hit for 2 seconds and that you feel, oh, I'm the winner here? It's like, no, man. You have a purpose to help those around you. This not only benefits you, it benefits the world. It benefits the other 7 billion people on earth. It's not all about you. And you got to realize the things you're doing have an impact. That chess piece that you move, the pawn, affects the rest of the game. You don't see it. You never will see that. You probably never know the people you touch. The smile that you give the cash register. Right? By having a little more enthusiasm, how you impact someone's day. But it's there. You won't see it. It's there. So keep that in mind. You have meaning. I love you guys. And I will see you tomorrow. Peace.